Hey guys, Siren here, and welcome back to Lake of Voices. Let's continue on where we left off in the story, shall we? Eventually, we make it to the other side of the narrow bridge, and the remaining three of us stand together, quietly, as we process what happened. I place my free hand over my face and cover my eyes as I begin to weep. Not all of us made it, no matter how many times I stated in my head. I am not able to make myself accept it. We were all just here a moment ago, and yet, now, how could this happen? Forget what you saw. As of right now, nothing matters except for the fact that we have yet to reach the shore. Morning will arrive soon. We must continue. Jerk. I can understand the words. I need to keep myself together until I reach the shore. And yet it seems impossible to actually do. Everyone is being lost, one by one. I can't take it. The guide taps the base of his staff onto the boards, not allowing me to become lost in my sorrow. Lou shuffles towards the guide, but he doesn't make it very far before he runs out of light from my lantern to remain in. I manage to make myself take a step forward. My stomach twists as we simply have to move past the death of another person for the second time. It's so cruel. Bamel was a wonderful guard and a wonderful person. He was striving towards so much, but it was all lost in a moment. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. After hours of navigating the web of bridges, a faint silhouette of the shore creeps into view. I can see it right back there. To the right and up, it looks like. Because I don't think you guys can see my mouse. I think it doesn't record my mouse. So sad Bamel was lost to the lake. It seems unbelievable that the end is in sight. Even that wisp of hope does little to ease the ache inside me. I still feel hollow inside. Now it's to the left. Those of us remaining continue in the direction of the shore, and darkness around us begins to break. A seed of worry sprouts inside me. Will we make it? The guide ahead seems to have no sign of concern on his face. I hold on to the hope that we will be able to make it through. We near the very end of the bridges. I can smell the trees and the earth, and even through the fog I can almost count the remaining bridges between us and land. Oh, there's a prowler again. But between the end and us, a prowler appears. Lou doesn't seem surprised, as though he had expected not to make it without further issue, or even at all. I eye the monster intently. It makes no move to leave us. So I turn to the guide instead. Here, take my lantern. Once it's scared off, we'll make our way to the shore. It shouldn't be an issue, with it so close by. The guide says nothing, however, he extends his hand to accept my offer. I feel my body tense for a moment before relinquishing. Got it. My light to the guide. It's not much further. I'm sure we can make it. The guide slowly steps ahead. He and the creature brace for confrontation. Lou and I stay close enough to the guide's back to keep from being left behind in the darkness. Be ready to run. Don't get left behind. Then he darts forward and launches the light directly at the prowler. Oh, damn. It makes a snarling hiss as it retreats, defeated back into the black waters. None of us even wastes a second looking back. We push forward. I race across the bridges, desperately trying to keep the guide's light-edged figure in clear sight. I run as fast as I can possibly manage without slipping on the boards. We run across the entire way, spurred on by the shoreline rapidly approaching. Miraculously, I feel my feet plunge into the dirt. I stumble forwards, nearly collapsing onto the ground while trying to catch my breath. It feels though I have come out of a long dream. We made it. Woo! It still looks creepy though. Well, no, not creepy. Weird. Alrighty. At least we made it to the end of the bridges. Lou stares hard at the dirt beneath him. I cannot place what it is that he might be feeling, though I barely know how I feel right now. I rest there quietly for a few moments, taking time to allow my breathing and emotions to settle down. Finally, I look up from my lap and see Lou standing away from me. His gaze is empty. He stares out into the thick fog veiling the lake. As though he realized I was staring, Lou suddenly twists his view back. We look at one another for a time. I can only guess what he may be thinking. No words need to be exchanged between us. I'm glad for it because I'm not sure I would be able to speak, even if needed to. The sound of sloshing and wood lurching captures our attention as the bridges begin to sink. In a few minutes, only the lonely dock is left. With that, the guide walks towards me. It's time to leave this place. There's nothing left for you here. Upon being addressed by him, I rise to my feet. He has a calm look on his face, though there's force behind his serenity. I open my mouth in an attempt to speak. However, I quickly realize I have little idea what to say. Do I thank him for this? Should I give him my trust? Was our survival because of him or despite him? Even now, I cannot know for certain. And then the fog is removed from my thoughts. After everything that has happened, it becomes clear. I harden my face and to match his serious disposition. There's something he is certainly right of. This lake isn't a place to linger. Going round and round in circles will never help. We cannot submit our lives or minds to Chanel's. For better or ill, there's only one person who can help those once they're within its grasp. The guide. The guide. If he were removed, the place would be no safer. What I must do if I truly want to defend others is keep them from coming here at all. When I return to my village, I intend to make that information acutely known to our elder. For that to happen, we must leave. Goodbye. His eyes narrow as he looks over at me. I begin to feel uncomfortable under his scrutiny, but for a moment, I could swear I noticed him smiling slightly. However, it could easily be a trick of the morning sun. I look away to face Lou, not wanting to get caught up in this any longer. He catches my eyes on him and looks back. Lou opens his mouth, however, no words come out, so he closes it again. The two of us stare at each other down awkwardly. After a brief moment, he gives me a shaky smile. Goodbye and, thank you. He backs away from me slowly at first, studying my face deeply one last time before turning around and completely darting into the forest. I feel so caught off guard by the action that by the time I recover, he's already gone. I recognize he probably needs some time alone to process what happened. He's safe. He's alive. That that is all that matters. Despite all the firmness I so intently try to have, my heart starts to waver. Bemel, Margaret, they're both still here. One thing. Awesome photo of the character. Awesome photo of Kika. She's awesome. I wish to give him a proper farewell. I want to do something, but my eyes begin to water. I almost turn back around. No, it is done. I need to remember that. They would never want me to ascribe their lives to Chanel's. Nothing would disgrace their memory more. I will keep them in my thoughts without allowing the lake to poison me. With my steadfastness truly regained, I march into the light with no hesitation. With a solemn heart, at last I arrived at Hemmer. They were grateful to see me, but for it was a desperate situation indeed. The urgency meant that my mind was occupied with other matters. I worked tirelessly to aid Hemmer's own guards in forcing back the brigaders. But during the moments of calm, and when the sun went down, I'd remember the lake. Oh, it's Bemel! My word. Rest in peace, man, rest in peace. The villagers were alarmed when I arrived on my own, but it did not take them long to guess what must have happened to Bemel. Having to recount the terrible story was almost more than I could endure. Yet I know that it will be even worse when I must tell my fellow guards back at home. They deserve to hear the truth from me, regardless of how I feel. When receiving payments for his services, the guide must give a report for all those who both succeeded and failed to cross the lake. A name and the fate of Margaret soon became known to Hemmer. I added that she was an intelligent and thoughtful person, and urged them to show respect for her passing. I hope that one day I will have the opportunity to go to her hometown and give my own proper respects. Louis never reappeared after walking away that morning. I do not know where he has gone, but wherever he went, I pray that he will live a safe and wonderful life. Perhaps someday we will meet once more. That is nice drawings, though. This is a cute little graphic novel. I have not heard nor seen the guide since then. He will remain obscured in that realm of fog and fear, a mysterious light off in the distance that is ever out of reach of the real world. Hopefully he's alright. I worry about when I must return home to my usual life. It will be difficult to continue as things were before. One thing I know for certain is that my village elder must be told that no one is to cross Chenolles again. I have already told the Hemmer leaders the same. Not a single more person should have to experience what we did. Its darkness will remain with me for the rest of my days. Though so much was lost, I truly believe our lessons will keep others from suffering the same way, and in the end, something will be gained. Lake of Voices. Oh, there's the credits! Well, that was a fun game. Voice cast, my voice. That was fun. That was fun doing the voices for the characters. Even though this game has actual voices, at Scene or Sean, that that was a fun little. Even though it's a different person, that's a fun little Easter egg in this game. I'm surprised not a lot of I've seen a lot of people play this game and stuff, but it is a fun game, and it is. There's another Sean or Scene, but Sean. I'm just gonna say Sean each time I see that. Anywho, that was a fun game, and this game is free on Steam if you guys want to play it. Yeah, you're welcome. That was a fun game. Well, we're finally finished, I guess. Anywho, I know I say that a lot. Well, anywho, time to be random. If you guys enjoyed this series so far, like of voices, and you guys find any graphic novels or anything, any game that you want that has characters that I can choose to not use the voices that they use, or I can do the voices that I do. Anyways, I know this episode has been long, but it was the end of it. Oh my word! That was an awesome game. Even though it was a graphic novel, it still felt like a game. Anywho, y'all enjoy the randomness. Have a nice rest of your morning, day, night, evening, anytime. And I bid you a farewell and a see you later. Well, see you in the next episode.